Hi, and welcome to today's episode of Habit Maker Mama. We are excited to bring you a discussion of Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg, and we're here to give you a little bit of information and the summary of Power of Habit. Today we are going to be chatting about The Power of Habit, which was our book of the month for this past month. We had a great time reading this and really looking into some of the great learning tips that Charles Duhigg gave us about habits. Now, he really looks at this from more of a business perspective, but we wanted to look at this through the lens of motherhood and how you could apply this to your life as a mom. Duhigg presents this idea of a keystone habit. Now, what is a keystone, you might ask? It's this idea that you will find one habit and it will help you build on more habits throughout your day and to continue to make change throughout your day and into your life. So in motherhood, this is so important because it can really bring you from those days when you maybe don't feel a whole lot like doing anything to, hey, I did my keystone habit today, I feel great about that, now I can hopefully continue to make great decisions, or I can just feel happy about the fact that I did my keystone habit and that's good for me today. So my keystone habit now as a mom is, I believe, exercise. However, I am still searching for what my keystone habit is. I can always say that with great consistency, I've been an exercise person. I played sports in college, and then when I was in grad school, I trained for Boston Marathon. So it's always been something important that does ground me in continuing with my other habits. But when I became a mom, my priorities became a little bit different in the sense that I was giving time to other people, and so exercise grounds me and helps me continue to make good decisions, but I like experimenting with new habits to see if there's something that I just haven't discovered. So make sure that you just try and see what you can discover. See if there's a habit that you haven't found that could be your keystone habit. It could be the next habit that's just waiting right around the corner for you to find. So for me, I have found that if I exercise first thing in the morning, or first thing when I start my day, I am much more likely to have done it and then continue making good habit decisions throughout the course of the day. I very often find that if I leave exercise to the end of the day, the beginning of my day has not quite been as productive as I might have liked. So I wake up early. I get up before the kids wake up. For me, that's 5 a.m. That doesn't have to be your time, but that's what time I wake up. I've also seen people just do really short workouts. So my workout right now is 30 minutes. But I've seen also people do just 10 minutes, and 10 minutes is great too. A crucial point of this book is the idea and concept of a habit loop. Charles Duhigg summarizes research from MIT neuroscientists about the concept of what a habit loop is. And it is explained as a cue, a routine, and a reward that helps to make your habits continue and to become more ingrained in something you do every day. We touched on this in our very first video, actually. So if you want to check that out, you can head over to our Atomic Habits review because we also discussed it there in a little bit more detail. But it's the idea that you have something that triggers a routine and you are rewarded by something to keep this loop going. Let me give you a little quick example. Think about brushing your teeth. Your teeth feel a little bit grimy, and then you brush your teeth, and then you get the tingly and clean feeling on your teeth. So your cue was the grime, your routine was the teeth brushing, and the reward was the tingle. And that will help you continue a habit loop going and going. So Duhigg gives an example where a mother who has children who have become a little bit older and are no longer very reliant on her anymore decides to go out in the afternoons and start to gamble a bit. She treats this gambling like a job. She leaves at almost the exact same time every day in the afternoon. She gets dressed up, does her hair for it. She ends up coming with a big addiction to gambling and really was seeking a sense of purpose. I think it can become really difficult as moms, especially if you are staying at home, to feel like, what's my purpose? You know, I love my children, but What is there that is important to just me? I think this was key in showing us that we have the ability to make healthy habit choices versus destructive habit choices. This lady ends up gambling away all of her savings, and if she had been able to find a healthy Keystone habit that brought her a greater sense of purpose, she could have potentially avoided a lot of trouble down the backstretch of things. We are trying to help you discover healthy habits that bring you a feeling of purpose and a feeling of joy. If you haven't found your healthy habit yet, don't worry, we're going to keep working on this and discovering them together. I try to save time and energy throughout my day by doing little chunks of habits all at one time. We hear about this in Power of Habit when Duhigg tells us that you should try to put different habits together that make sense and chunk them. So when I'm trying to get the dishes done, I will at breakfast time scrub them, get them in the dishwasher, and eat all at the same time. I know, I should probably take a moment and sit down and relax, but sometimes this is just a little bit more efficient for me, and I'm all about making life more efficient, getting the tasks done so that I can move on and have something fun to look forward to. When you're having trouble making a habit stick, make sure that you are looking at what is driving your habit. What sort of craving do you have to keep your habit going? And where can you troubleshoot your habit in particular? So if we go back to our idea of cue, routine, reward, you can look at the different parts and see if something needs a little bit of fixing. So if you look at let's take a cue that seems to be pretty common in motherhood, which is overwhelm. You are overwhelmed by having your kids just, all over you, and sometimes you want a few minutes. If we take the example of late night snacking as a habit that a lot of times people want to change, sometimes within motherhood you can feel really overwhelmed. So then your routine is to grab a snack because it makes you feel better. That's your reward. So you need to change that routine that you have. Instead of, when you feel overwhelmed, grabbing for that snack, maybe you reach out to a friend and ask for a little bit of guidance. Maybe instead you grab an apple and a sparkling water. Try a different routine than usual, and that can help you break that loop and help create a new, stronger connection. You still get the same reward of feeling good after having your conversation or drinking your sparkling water or telling yourself that you're a great mom, but now you've embraced the new routine. I don't know about you, but there are so many times in the evening where all I want to do is plop down on the couch and either scroll through social media or watch something on television and not really do a whole lot else. And guess what? There is a reason for that. When you think about all of the decisions you've made during a day and all of the willpower that you've had to use during a day, it's used up. By the end of the day, you have no more willpower to do something. Willpower acts like a muscle. It only has so much strength and power to give, and at some point it goes away. Duhigg gives us this research and this example in his book where he says that willpower is like a muscle. You can only use it for so long until it gets all used up. Just like if you tried to work out in the evening and you're struggling to do it and stick to it because your willpower is gone. So try instead two things. Number one, if there's something you really, really, really want to get done, try doing it at the start of your day instead. Number two, begin to automate some of your decisions. The less decisions that you have to make, the more willpower you will save up for more important decisions later on. So think about automating some of your decisions. Try dressing your kids in the same clothes. Try eating the same breakfast. Try picking certain things that help to reduce the amount of decisions within your day so that you can automate them and they can become habit. Do you believe in yourself? I know sometimes that can be a little bit of a loaded question, but if you want to really start working on any habits, this is where you need to start. You need to start to have faith in yourself and your ability to do it. I know it can be tough because all day long you are, helping other people, working on other people, and so you might kind of run out of that. You're not getting a lot of external validation that you're awesome. Kids don't really give that back to us a lot, even though we work really hard for them. So start with yourself. Believe in yourself. Duhigg tells us about Alcoholics Anonymous as an example for the importance of having faith. This is an organization that helps people who are alcoholic find a sense of purpose and identity in something other than alcohol. The most important part, he says, about the success of this group is that people have found faith in something, that it's faith in themselves and the ability to stop drinking alcohol. So take that for your habit making. Have faith in your ability to make better habits and faith that you're also a great mom too. So if you want to check out a little bit more about believing in yourself, we do have a video that you can see down in the rest of our YouTube videos. Thanks so much for catching today's YouTube episode. We're always enjoying bringing you new habit-making tips. This was our review of Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. And guess what? We're here to announce the next book for next month. Drum roll, please. We'll be covering Change by Damon Santola, and this is going to tie in great with community and how we can help build up our communities within our life, how you can create some social change. All right, well, stay tuned for the next one. We're happy to have you. Like and subscribe below.